Hey, YouTube and F and True followers, JC Styles here.
Brian Crazy.
And we are here with our very special guest today, our first guest on the F and True Wrestling Review with the dashing Kevin Walsh. Kevin? So you want to basically speak a little bit about yourself real quick? Let our viewers get to know you a little bit?
Sure thing. Well, my username is DashingKevinWalsh. Not that I think I'm that dashing. It's just a username. But yeah, basically I do wrestling reviews. I try to be funny. Most people find me funny, so I'm not that desperate. And I just give my general thoughts on wrestling, basically, just like one another. So that's pretty much it.
We're going to put his link in the description box. He does do dashing grooming tips, which is very funny. Check those out. So this is our SmackDown review for January 28th, 2011. And I'll let Brian take the intro for the show.
Yep, we start off with a promo with Vicky Guerrero coming out. As usual, going, excuse me, excuse me. Then we see Randy Orton come out. And basically Orton asks Vicky to excuse him. And to, excuse him for what he is about to do to her boyfriend at the Royal Rumble, this, that, and the other. And, this kind of makes Vicky a little nervous, this, that, and the other. And then we see a very irate Dolph Ziggler come out, and then he's the victim of an RKO.
Yes, definitely. We didn't see that coming from a mile away. There's an interpromotional match at the end of the show, and pretty much basically it was RKO, as simple as that.
I was hoping Vicky was going to get RKO'd, but
Kevin, what did you think about the beginning promo?
From what it sounds like, it sounded really cool. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to see the first hour of the show, only because usually on on television it comes on around about 10 p.m., 11 p.m. and unfortunately it changed. It came on at 9 p.m. So I managed to catch the last hour. But from what it sounded like, it pretty much was the same thing. Two guys in the ring, one guy drops on his ass, and that's pretty much it.
Exactly.
So we're going to head right into the next match, which was Lay Cool versus Kelly and Caitlyn, NXT Season 3.
NXT Season 3 winner Caitlyn, yes.
I was kind of wondering who. I thought at first I didn't get a really good look at Kelly. I thought this was some new Divas tag team that they had on SmackDown. I was like, what the fuck is this? But once I saw it was Kelly, I was like, okay, so who's this new chick? And Brian filled me in through Skype, which we are on Skype. We're going to put our link in the description box as well for both Brian's handle and the F and True Wrestling handle, which I use. We see Kelly and Michelle McCool beat them, and I think this was actually a pretty decent Divas match.
It really was. I mean, for the first time in a long time, we actually got to see some decent competition between the Divas. There was a lot of fast pace. There was a lot of good moves hit. All of the ladies took some good bumps, and like JC said, I think it was a pretty enjoyable Divas contest. Unfortunately, Dashing didn't get to see too much of it, but what are your thoughts?
So who won the match again, sorry?
It was Lay Cool defeated Kelly and Caitlyn.
Yeah, there you go. Typical, I mean, at the moment, I just want to say, people, that if it comes to Divas, one thing comes to mind is Lay Cool. Not because I fancy them or anything like that. It's just because at the moment they're the most dominating Divas going. Well, for the meantime, at least.
It's an awesome call.
It really annoys me sometimes, because I just wish they kind of gave the spotlight to other Divas. Like, I'm a big fan of Melina, and I'm not saying I want to see Melina win all the time, but, they had Melina pretty much feud with Natalya for nothing, only for Lay Cool to get back in the picture, and that's my problem. So my thoughts on that match is, unfortunately, Lay Cool won.
Do you want to take the next match?
Sure. For the next match, we see Drew McIntyre go against JTG. Kelly stayed out for commentary on this. This was pretty much a squash match.
It was pretty good, though.
It was okay. I mean, honestly, when you saw both these competitors come out, you knew who the winner was going to be.
Yeah. I'm a really big. I'm not a big JTG fan, but I am from Brooklyn, and I do root for my Brooklyn natives.
Crime Time was a decent
Yes,
team.
Crime Time was definitely a pretty good tag team. I actually, I don't want to go as far as saying it. I mean, I've heard other people kind of refer to them as the WWE's rendition of Harlem Heat, kind of, with the whole Crime Time gimmick. But that's another topic for another video. Then on top of that, I'm also a big Drew McIntyre fan. I've been since, like, his very first debut. And I think that Drew McIntyre is a very decent and good competitor, and I think he's ready for a push. I mean, he was labeled WWE's chosen one for a while, or Vince McMahon's chosen one for a while, and then kind of get put back down by Teddy Long. I want to kind of see what they're going to do with Drew McIntyre now that they're kind of giving him somewhat of a push.
Well, the thing with McIntyre is he had a lot of competition at the end of last year. He was feuding with Matt Hardy. He was feuding with Kofi. He was kind of had a little feud with Christian going on this, that, or the other. And then you saw, unfortunately, a lot of these competitors either get injured or released, which kind of changed the whole dynamic of the storyline the way we saw it. But to kind of sum up the end of the match, we saw Drew McIntyre beat JTG with the Future Shock DDT.
Yes. Dashing, what do you think?
I think, same again, Drew McIntyre needs a push. I don't know if you guys noticed, he's definitely, over the past, God knows how many weeks, he's improved a lot as a wrestler. He's added a lot more moves to his arsenal, so he's becoming a lot more of a good technician, that is. I'm liking the whole Kelly and him relationship thing going on. Hopefully it does him something well, rather than, Ted and Maurice. Nothing really happened with them. But as far as Drew McIntyre goes, hopefully in the future he'll get the World Heavyweight Championship title shot that he deserves, because after all, like you guys said, he's the chosen one, so he needs to live up to that name.
Exactly. And here's another quick question for you, Kevin. Outside of the WWE, Drew McIntyre is married to Tiffany, and before she was released, the storyline with him and Kelly was originally written for her. Now, what would you have thought if they kept her on, to keep her working and keep a family together, and maybe use Kelly in a different storyline?
Most probably, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't really matter either way, because it would still be the same storyline. But I suppose she's probably pretty much wanting to throw a shoe at the television, just watching it, because she knows that's where she should be. But unfortunately, according to what happens outside of wrestling, something happened and she's not there anymore. So
exactly.
Then after the match between McIntyre and JTG, we had a backstage promo where Todd Grisham interviewed Cody Rhodes, asking him about the injury suffered to his nose during the match he had last week with Rey Mysterio, after getting hit with the 619. And you know what? I'm going to actually let Dashing Kevin Walsh take this one.
Exactly.
All right, okay, it's funny enough. All I'm going to say about it is, it's surprisingly that he actually broke his nose. Is that right? He broke his nose? All right, wow, that's a big botch. But, I suppose he ain't so dashing now, eh? He's broke his nose. Yeah. I don't know, but I think it's a bit over dramatic. But at least the audience knows that he's actually got a broken nose. So it's kind of like they're probably going to laugh at him now, because he's always like, "Oh, look how dashing I am," and now it's like, "Well, he's broke his nose."
I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if he's going to have the nose guard or not.
Kind of like when we had Bald CM Punk with the mask.
Yeah, and when Undertaker had to wear the mask after Mabel did the leg drop on his face back in the 96, 97, I think it was, when he used to have the gray mask.
Now, Mabel.
Yes.
That's a whole nother topic for another video.
Yes.
Oh my
King
god.
Mabel. We all remember him.
And then they repackaged him as Viscera with the Corporate Ministries
Yeah.
Enforcer with remember the whiteout contacts and the goth dress and the mohawk. I mean,
oh my god,
what were they thinking?
Horrible. We had another backstage promo with Edge talking about the core and teaming with Orton, which was actually pretty cool, because I at first, like a lot of you guys know, I don't really follow SmackDown that well, because the fact is that I used to work nights on Fridays when I worked for Walgreens, so I kind of fell out of the loop of watching SmackDown for the longest time. But actually, when I found out that Edge and Orton were teaming up, and we were going to see Rated RKO one more time, right before the Royal Rumble, I thought was pretty interesting because, both I do like Edge and I am a big Randy Orton supporter, and I do like what they're doing both on separate shows, carrying the shows the way they are. Given Orton's not the champion, but his feud with The Miz and Edge's current reign as champion and feud with Dolph Ziggler over the last couple of weeks. With these guys, with the talent that WWE has and the way that they can push some of the younger guys, like I said, I've been pushing it for a while. I see WWE doing lots of things this year, especially around the time for the Royal Rumble. Speaking of the Rumble, before my Final Four, a lot of people have sent me messages and comments about it. My Final Four picks, well, not Final Four, but the four people I want to see in last in the Royal Rumble is John Morrison, Alberto Del Rio, Wade Barrett, and Mason Ryan. I think they need to push some young talent, and I think it's definitely someone's time this year at the Royal Rumble.
Well, I mean, to kind of comment on the Mason Ryan situation, I mean, yeah, the guy's got a lot of sheer brutality, but, with everybody's belief that he's the new God's gift to wrestling, I think is a little, premature. I mean, he's done fantastic on the gladiator scene, and he did fantastic in Florida Championship Wrestling. But, yes, he's their heavyweight champion down there, but he did win the title from Alex Riley, so you do got to remember that. And, which, besides the gimmick that he plays on Raw, he's actually a halfway decent wrestler if you've seen some of these FCW competitions. But, I mean...
with the current storylines that's going on right now, I think that it would be kind of cool to see someone because it would be kind of cool to see someone fresh with the Rumble,
Oh, it would be lovely to see someone fresh with the Rumble, and I think that's why Alberto Del Rio would be a perfect choice. He's gotten a nice build-up since August. I mean, he basically took out Mysterio for a while. He's the guy that took out Christian, quote-unquote. I mean, I really see him getting this push. I mean, he's been performing on Raw and SmackDown for the last few weeks, and pretty much winning every match that he's come across. I know tonight's match, he wasn't so successful. We'll get to that in a minute. I mean, I have no problem with seeing Mason Ryan getting pushed, but, I mean, if they had to choose Mason Ryan over Alberto Del Rio, I think they would kind of be dropping the ball on Alberto Del Rio. That's just my opinion. What do you think, Dashin?
Well, Alberto Del Rio is a good pick to win the Rumble because, like you said, they've been building him up since a long time ago, and so far he's looking very strong. He's a good main eventer. He's a good wrestler. He's excellent at promos. Pretty much he has the whole package to be a great wrestler. And he'd be a good pick to win the Rumble. But also, rebounding off of what JC was saying, is this was just our theory. I mean, if Mason Ryan was somewhat like one of the last competitors in the Royal Rumble alongside CM Punk, he could have a major face turn or something like that by throwing Punk over the top ropes and winning the Rumble or something. And that would really put him over real quick, and that would also, push him straight into the main event scene. And it would be a bit early, but I mean, if they really want to get behind this talent, I mean, why not? It's just a thought.
Hey, Dashing, I do agree with you 100%. That would be an incredible twist. I mean, if we did get down to CM Punk and Mason Ryan at the last minute, he decides, am I going to become the future WWE champion, or am I going to stay loyal to this jack-off? I mean, it's, it could be a crossroads,
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly,
I mean, there's so many routes that they can go. I mean, it's rumored that Undertaker so-called wants to pass the torch, and he's been looking at he's been looking at Wade Barrett or Ezekiel Jackson. But now, as of late, the way that it's being spoken all over the net is that he's kind of getting ready to land on Wade Barrett. Now, what I could kind of see is if they let Wade Barrett win the Royal Rumble and have Taker come back and pick up the strap at Elimination Chamber and let them have a month-long feud at WrestleMania. And if you want to say, hey, we're going to pass the torch to you, maybe it'd be kind of way of pushing. Because you think about it, if the core is supposed to lead SmackDown to a higher level, what better way to have Wade Barrett, the quote-unquote former leader of the Nexus, take the strap from Taker, and not only taking the strap from Taker, but taking Taker's WrestleMania streak and pushing him
Yeah, but I think for everything that Taker's done for the business, I don't know if Vince would be so willing to.
Well, Taker already said basically he wants to pass the torch.
He wants to pass the torch, but I don't know if they're going to let the streak get broken. I mean, for all this build, for all the mysticism of it. But, I mean, if you look back historically, I mean, how much build was behind the Ministry, the Undertaker's Ministry character? And they completely, dropped the ball with that when they revealed Vince McMahon as the higher power when they decided to abort that whole storyline, 6 months into it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the WWE can go any way that Vince McMahon chooses.
But it's also a thought, though.
It is a thought, and I think it's a very good thought. And I think that, there's so many possibilities this Sunday for, different winners and different storylines and different... What happens if, in the heavyweight title match, we end up seeing Christian screw over Edge? I pitched that in a video I did, so...
What was it? We see... I'll let you take the next one since you like Alberto Del Rio.
Exactly. Next, we see Alberto Del Rio introduce himself to Michael Tarver backstage. We've seen Michael Tarver the last week or so. How's he going to play into all this?
We see him on Raw and on SmackDown now.
Exactly. He got screwed over by the former Nexus leader, Wade Barrett. With the whole John Cena situation going on earlier in the year. But we'll keep this moving. Actually, real quick, Dashing, what do you think about Tarver?
Okay, so far Tarver, I think he's actually a good talent. I wouldn't say he's the best of technical wrestlers, but when he was in the original Nexus, he really did stand out. He had the look. He was pretty good at kind of promo. Wrestling wise, same again, not the best, but he has a lot of potential. And as far as all this mysterious backstage stuff going on, it is a possibility he could be the GM, maybe. I'm not saying that he will, but there's always a rumor out there,
Hey, it wouldn't surprise me with some of the twists that we've seen.
Yeah, exactly. With a lot of the twists that we've seen as of late in WWE, it wouldn't be shocking that maybe he took out Teddy Long himself to maybe put himself as an anonymous.
Yeah, high power, yeah.
But we all know the truth that Ricardo is the GM. And he's the one that's pulling the strings. How do you think he got that sweet job just announcing Alberto? Come on.
We had the Battle Royal, which was actually a pretty interesting concept tonight.
Yeah, they kind of started off with this Battle Royal, which, was kind of, just kind of hyping up the crowd for Royal Rumble this Sunday. We see Alberto Del Rio start. Then we see...
We see Kofi.
We saw. Well, we'll just name entries and we'll name the winner to simplify it because we've got some notes written down here. We see
two nobodies.
Yeah, two nobodies entered. Then Kane, then Mysterio.
No, Kofi came out after
Kofi,
the two nobodies.
And then
Kane.
Was Kofi then Kane?
Yeah.
Kofi, Kane, then Ray. Yeah. And Kofi ended up picking up the win by eliminating Alberto Del Rio, which I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, is this just a way to kind of save a little face on the Intercontinental Champion going into Royal Rumble because Alberto Del Rio has gotten such a push in recent weeks?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, WWE's MO as of late, but I mean, I think it was.
He loves saying that WWE's MO.
Yeah, I mean, because there's just so much happening in the world of in the WWE world right now. It's kind of hard to focus down on and take it all in at what's really happening. Then we move into the next which was actually a pretty decent tag match, which I actually like. The fact is that Alberto actually didn't pick up the win this time. It was actually Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston picking up the win. Dashing, what were your thoughts on this tag match?
Well, I suppose it's a way to put Kofi Kingston over as the current Intercontinental Champion, as Brian was saying. Maybe to make him look a bit strong as the champion. And also, I suppose Alberto Del Rio just losing one match ain't really gonna change the face of the earth, is it? But I'm not too sure. It was a good match overall. It somehow turned out to be a tag team match, and well, I would have picked Alberto's team to win, but in the end, I suppose Kofi's team won, and that is what it is.
Yeah, real quick, Dashing. Yeah, definitely, this wasn't the one match that would change the world, but I know this is really a topic for a separate video. But thinking of some matches that did kind of change the world, the whole match with the finger poke of Doom in WCW, that pretty much doomed the whole company. And then how about the match where Scott Hall screwed over Goldberg, and Kevin Nash picked up the win, and eliminated Goldberg streak, 174-0.
What about when Bischoff went on the air 5 minutes early and gave away the ending of Raw when Mick Foley beat, what was it, The Rock or Triple H for the WWF Championship for the first time?
It was The Rock, and that was on 1/4/1999, if I wasn't mistaken, but it was taped on, 12/31 or 12/30, whatever, 1 week in advance, whatever have you. But, yeah.
My question to you, Kevin, what do you think of WWE's current booking of the Intercontinental Championship title as of late?
I think they're a little bit in the shuffle. I'm not really too sure they know what they're doing, because sometimes it almost seems like they're throwing it on the same people. And if I was the booker, I'd bring up maybe some of the talent such as Kurt Hawkins or Beretta to feud with Kofi, or even dashing Cody Rhodes. I mean, he's at the moment he's kind of, I'd like to think, a good mid-carder or a strong mid-carder, but let's give him, say, an Intercontinental title reign and see how he does with that, just to give him a taste of gold, singles gold.
Exactly, and it seems like, to further your statement, Dashing, it seems like late last year, the Intercontinental title and the United States title were being pushed a little bit more. Now we've kind of gone into this, remission, and we're really not seeing too many good contests. I really hope we see both these titles defended at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and well, speaking of the Royal Rumble, we'll get to that at the end of the show to wrap it up. We also move into a Big Show segment that came out. Big Show came out, did a core, did a promo, and then the core Dave came out and talked about the Royal Rumble.
Who sported new T-shirts?
Sported new T-shirts. I don't think they were WWE licensed. I think they were just something. They look like something kind of like they just threw together, not like something like WWE.
I think they're going to be there. I don't think Vince would let them out on TV without an official licensed product. I mean, the core. I think that's probably about it.
They came out, surrounded the ring, and Big Show challenged them to get in, which actually led into a match between Heath Slater and the Big Show.
The one-man rock band, Heath Slater.
Kevin, what did you think about this match?
Okay, before I get to the match, I've got to say I love the shirts. I'm a big core fan. You're either core or you're a whore. I'm joking. The match overall, it was pretty much a squash match. Big Show was eyeing all the participants around the ring, Wade, Ezekiel, Gabriel, and Slater, and he was like, "Oh, you want to go, Wendy's?" And then Wendy's approved, as in Heath Slater, and pretty much got destroyed. So overall, it was a squash match, and Big Show won.
I couldn't have said it any better. Big Show, to be honest, I think Big Show will be in his glory at the Royal Rumble when he gets in there because, to be honest, there isn't really a lot of big talent in there with the exception of Kane, and I think he'll be like a fat kid in a bakery shop because.
How about Ezekiel Jackson?
Oh, Ezekiel Jackson as well. But I'm just saying.
Not to interrupt you, isn't it funny that we didn't get to see Big Show versus Zeke tonight? We saw Big Show versus Slater in a squash match.
I think they're maybe looking to see a big showdown at the Rumble, which we'll get into that, or a rundown.
And maybe that'll feed into a match possibly at Elimination Chamber. We'll get to see Big Show headline a pay-per-view for the first time in a while.
Well, maybe. Big Show
not headline, but have a good match on it.
Yeah, if Big Show was the main event WrestleMania, I don't think it would be necessarily a bad thing.
No, not at all.
His list of WWE main events at WrestleMania isn't really the greatest. He's had some really big losses at Mania, and he's had some good wins at Mania.
He was in that four-way dance at WrestleMania 2000
which he lost.
Well, yeah, because Vince McMahon ended up screwing over The Rock. We couldn't have saw that one.
Yeah, to help his son-in-law Triple H. I think Walsh is over there. He's like, man, you're taking me back.
It's like a trip down memory lane.
Yeah. Then we, Brian, you know what? I've been talking for a while. I'll let you take the main event.
Sure, man. Sure. Thank you very much. We see, for one night only, we see the reunited rated RKO go against the current WWE champion Miz.
Let's put those two names together. Migler.
Migler?
Yes, Migler.
Wouldn't that be a funny name if his name was Miz Ziggler?
Yes. and put it together, it'd be like Migler, you know, the team of Migler.
But
you had Show Miz, you had Jericho, and now you have Migler.
it reminds me too much of like Bette Midler. That's all I can think of. Is she makes that face kind of like the one that my son makes. You know, it kind of his lip over to the side. But we see a pretty good contest. We end up seeing Edge and Randy Orton pick up the win. Edge hits a powerful spear on Dolph Ziggler after Dolph Ziggler almost got the zigzag on him. And post-match, Vicky Guerrero bans the spear. I don't know, is it just banned at the Royal Rumble? Or is it banned?
She said until further notice, so I have a feeling it's probably just until after the Royal Rumble.
Or is it going to be like the Hell's Gate? It's going to be banned like permanently.
Well, it can't be. You can't. I can understand why they banned the Hell's Gate a while back, because the fact was that, you know, a lot of people actually were getting hurt during the Hell's Gate, but the thing about the spear, I mean, it's not really hurting anybody. I mean, you know, Edge does hit it with a lot of impact, but I mean, you never really saw anyone
nowhere near Goldberg impact.
No, nowhere near Goldberg. So I don't really see him breaking anyone's ribs or anything on that spear.
But are we going to see an Executor then? We haven't seen one of those in a while.
I think we had a comment on one of our videos to say, wouldn't it be funny if we see Edge win the match using the Prettier, the kill switch of Christian's finisher?
Why not? And, Edge is an innovator, and he has been, for years, with the TLC matches and a lot of the other contests he's been involved in. And I don't see why this wouldn't be the time. I would see Edge's career starting to... he's definitely past the hump, and he's definitely moving into, more of a seasoned status, quote unquote, to say. But I want to see this, surprise me if he comes out with a brand new move.
Yes.
A brand new finisher. Or, this is the Royal Rumble, so maybe he's just going to just focus on staying afloat and staying, Well, he's not competing in the Rumble match, so... all he's got to do is win the championship.
Retain the championship.
Exactly.
So, Dashing Kevin Walsh, what are your thoughts on the main event?
Well, if you got the tag team of Miz and Ziggler, you might as well call them Ziggles and Mizzles. And I'm a big fan of Rated RKO because, of course, my favorite wrestler is Randy Orton, and the match overall was good. It ended with a spear. Ziggler, as Brian said, almost hit the zigzag. And pretty much Edge countered. He hit the spear, and and then after the match was all done, the stipulation was set to say that the spear's been banned, etc. And Edge can't use the spear now at the Rumble, and basically I was really pissed that Edge hit the spear 4 times on Ziggler after the match because. Obviously I'm a Ziggler fan as well. That's like my second best wrestler. So sorry about that. I kind of got caught up in the scuffle there because someone keeps sending me an invite.
It's okay. Right, we got one too, but it's all good. It's all good. We always get thrown off our game just a bit. So post SmackDown, what are your thoughts on overall SmackDown momentum heading into the Royal Rumble, Kevin?
Come again?
What do you think of the SmackDown's overall momentum heading into this Sunday's Royal Rumble?
I think the momentum is fine.
You think the build has been sufficient?
Yeah.
Especially for the main event, the Miz versus Edge. I mean, Ziggler versus Edge.
I think it's fine because I think it's in Ziggler's favor to go on and win the match.
Okay.
I think it would be quite interesting if we see...
just because that Edge is at a disadvantage for not having the spear.
Exactly. And, one last thought before we get too much farther. I was reading an article earlier in the week, and Pat Patterson, who is one of the innovators of the Royal Rumble concept, is, kind of a little disappointed that it's being changed from a 30-man to a 40-man contest. He feels like it kind of dilutes each individual star's chance. Vince McMahon is real happy about this. What's your thoughts on a 30-man versus 40-man Royal Rumble?
My thoughts on the 40-man Royal Rumble?
Yes.
Oh, it's a new concept. It's exciting. It's more opportunistic, I suppose. It's more unpredictable as a load of stuff.
It's a star. It kind of looks like it's going to be a star-studded Rumble. I mean, we have 28 names announced. You have 3 special legendary appearances. There's expected returns, which is from what we've heard, information we received. Speaking of receiving, we received info that Booker T actually canceled all of his weekend appearances for wrestling events. So is it a possibility that Booker T might be signing back with the WWE? I mean, he said that him and the WWE were on very good terms.
Yeah, but him and TNA are on good terms, so there's also a 50% chance he might be going back there, assuming that the whole main event Mafia storyline's just starting up, and WWE hasn't had too much interest in him, and seeming that Booker was a pivotal player to, that faction in TNA. I guess we're gonna have to see what side can pick him up and if he's even interested. I mean, he's very happy doing his thing down in Texas, as I've heard.
Yeah, Kevin, what do you think of the Royal Rumble only having 3 matches announced, heading only 2 days, only 48 hours away, a little less than 48 hours away?
I think the main focus is pretty much on the Rumble itself. So maybe we're going to see maybe an epic return of a legend or someone surprising, something to spice things up. And hopefully the person who wins the Rumble is deserving to win the Rumble. And hopefully people would, how can I put it? Hopefully people would accept that, the person who wins the Rumble. But with the match card itself, it seems fair. I mean, as far as the other matches go, I look forward to Ziggler facing Edge just because I want Ziggler to capture his first World Heavyweight Championship. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope Ziggler the best of luck. It would be a nice, fresh change. And I also think Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio might be an interesting contest for the SmackDown brand.
Definitely.
And
what do you think? Here's another question for you.
Sure.
Kevin.
Okay.
What do you?
Thought you were asking me.
Think? Well, this is up to both of you, so I'll let you guys both answer this.
Sure.
What do you think of last year of Edge returning and winning the Rumble, but not winning the WrestleMania main event? Do you think that's going to have a pivotal impact on whoever wins the Rumble this year? Given if it's a fresh face, maybe getting a push to the winning the Rumble, but not getting that brass ring at the Mania. Brian, I'll let you answer, and then Kevin, you can answer following Brian.
Well, the way I see this is not many times in history have we not seen the Royal Rumble winner compete and win at WrestleMania. I mean, there has been some.
Shawn Michaels in '95 and Edge last year, as far as I know.
And Vince McMahon in 1999.
Exactly.
He lost his title.
That was a big story-ass line.
Yeah, so. but I mean, it's all a big story-ass line. I mean, at the end of the day, but to preserve kayfabe, in '99, Vince McMahon won the Royal Rumble due to The Rock's interference. He was in as long as Stone Cold. I mean, it was this big drawn-out hour plus.
The Rock.
I mean, but that's when storytelling was at its peak. I mean, they could tell a story, and you'd sit there and you'd watch every piece of the story, and you'd remember it. Like here I am 2 hours after SmackDown, and pieces of it were not that memorable.
No, not exactly. Kevin, the question that I what are your thoughts on the question that I asked?
The question was again, sorry, because some guy keeps talking to me. I'm sorry, dude.
The question, right. No, it's okay, man. The question was, being last year Edge's unexpected return, winning the Rumble, and him not winning the WrestleMania main event. Do you think that's going to have a pivotal impact on whoever wins the Rumble this year? Do you think they may, or do you think there's a chance that the history might repeat itself, that the winner of the Rumble?
I hope not, because that would just be pretty much pointless. It's kind of like when Randy Orton won the Rumble back in '09 and went on to the biggest platform of them all, which is WrestleMania, and then pretty much lost to Triple H, which was bullshit. So I'm just hoping whoever wins the Rumble just goes straight ahead on to face someone at Mania for a World Heavyweight Championship or WWE Championship and wins, basically. Or if not, puts up a good enough fight to pretty much, say they're over with the crowd. I don't know.
If we have to deal with The Miz carrying around the Money in the Bank for all those months and actually cashing in and actually winning, I do agree with Kevin Walsh. They can let the Royal Rumble winner go on to WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly, and win. So we're gonna wrap this video up for this week. It's been a long, grueling day. We want to thank Dashing Kevin Walsh for being our very first special guest here on the weekly wrestling review of SmackDown. Please, you're welcome, man. You're welcome.
Thank you, Kevin. We
Thank
do
you for
appreciate
Kevin
it.
for being a part of the show. And guys, his link's gonna be in the description box. Please check out his videos.
Also, one other quick, didn't mean to interrupt you. One other quick piece of information: we are over 300 subscribers. We appreciate everybody out there that is checking out F and True. We would not be who we are without you.
Especially the last couple of people that we've met over the last couple of days on Skype. Thank you as well.
Some awesome guys on there. I'm glad we found Skype and found some of these guys. And we've talked to Dashing Kevin Walsh through messages here on YouTube, but it's been real cool getting to actually know him a little bit and talk wrestling. And it's a big community. And if you guys aren't that involved, make a YouTube account, subscribe to these channels, join Skype, and we can have a great time talking wrestling all together.
So,
hey, thank you guys for having me on the show also.
You're welcome, man.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome. Definitely, it's an honor to have you. I mean, especially one of our followers from the get-go. Like you said the other night, you've been watching our vids from the very beginning as well, along with a lot of other people. And this just goes to show you guys out there that if you have Skype and you want to do something like this with us, let us know, and we won't have a problem sitting down with you. I mean, Dashing wanted to do it, and I did a video earlier with Dashing.
Check it out.
It's on our favorites. Actually, if you go to our YouTube channel and click our channel, it's the first video on our channel. You can check it out, or you can go down to his link in the description box. Check it out.
Well, yeah. You probably want to check that out because it will be, because once we upload the new video, that'll. Yeah.
So,
guys, it's been F and True Wrestling. I'm JC Styles.
I'm Brian Crazy, and
Kevin.
Oh, yeah, sorry. See you later, guys.
Dashing Kevin Walsh.
Thank you.
I mean, this goes to show you how much Skype can be very distracting.
And what time is it in Great Britain, Kevin?
No, it's not that. Some guy is calling me. Well, never mind. He just keeps on sending me phone calls and messages.
No,
My
that's
eyes there, and I'm back in the call. I'm trying to focus.
no, that's fine. That's fine. Just curious enough for our North American viewers. What time is it in Great Britain?
Unfortunately, it's 3 a.m. But it's the weekend, so allow me.
Awesome, man. Keep enjoying it. It's 10:50 here in Connecticut, USA. So we're gonna close this out. This has been a great time. We'll be back to talk wrestling with you guys soon, and have a great night.
Take it easy, guys.
See you guys.